Hi everyone and welcome to the first ever edition of the Studs Up podcast. This is a brand new thing that we're trialling. We are actually going to be talking today about the EPL, the English Premier League. Just two big fans sitting in a studio. So I'd like to introduce my co-host here. Simon Says. Hello, Simon. How are you?
I am talent hack number one.
You are talent hack number one.
Yes.
And I am talent hack number two. I am Garfield. And we're just going to be basically discussing the round that's coming up in the Premier League and just some thoughts that we have about it. I mean, we have a hell of a lot of opinions. And I mean, I know that Studs Up, the podcast, sounds like we're just going to be talking about Stoke. And the question is going to be, can we do it on a rainy day in the Britannia? Probably not. But we're going to give it a red hot go in this podcast. So,
yeah, we're summer boys.
Well, you are. I mean, you've got the Greek heritage, whereas I look like I'm an overgrown Viking.
That's right. Although all the Englishmen do come to Greece for holidays. So
they do it that. All right.
Could work.
It could work out very well. It might not, but you'll be along for the journey. So let's give it a go.
The Studs Up podcast.
Speaking of working out,
Yes.
I'm going to get a workout. I will divulge from now. I am a Liverpool fan.
Yes, you are.
Contain your booze, sir. Yeah, so we got
Get a
Spurs coming
haircut.
up. We got Spurs coming up this weekend, and I think that's the game of the round. So
I think it is.
probably
I
a good
think
starting
you're right.
point.
No, absolutely. Now, how do you like Spurs versus Liverpool? The clash of styles between Pochettino and Klopp.
Yeah, I mean, really, this is a bizarre clash in that it's almost as though two mirror images of each other are clashing at once. So I really want to see how they get up. I mean, we were just talking about it off air before, and I did say that Maurizio Pochettino was a portly Klopp. Which did sound like a pub.
It does sound like a pub.
That is a pub I'd like to go to because it sounds like an interesting one.
I think I'd give it a skip, given that it's Klopp, but sure.
Fair enough, Reds boy. But no, it's clash of mentalities. They're basically exactly the same. So it's really going to be a matter of who can execute. And
I agree.
Depending on which week you're viewing Liverpool, you either say that they can execute or they can't.
Well, what happened there? I mean, they played so well, really well, at least attacking-wise, against Arsenal, and then they just fell apart against Burnley. I mean, clearly, I'd like to bring this up with you. You are a massive Liverpool fan.
Yeah.
What is going on at left back?
Well, I mean, nothing. That's the problem.
But when you're playing James Milner, he's the ultimate utility player. But if you're playing a hard-working, right-footed midfielder
I'm with you.
at left back, something's gone terribly wrong there.
Yeah, this is a really sore topic for me because I just look at Klopp and I look at what he's done and it makes so much sense. Everything until you reach.
Well, every
that
manager has a
left-back
blind
position.
spot, and maybe that's his.
But how has Moreno managed to blind two managers in succession? He really did blind Rodgers as well.
Absolutely.
So
Well, he must have something going on. I mean, you watch far more of their games than I do. What is it about him that you think...
he's an exciting attacking and very potent attacking force.
He's good.
And he does suck you in when he plays a good game.
Yeah.
But those are few and far between.
But you know what? He reminds
his
me
defending
of...
is diabolical.
No, he reminds me, remember the last year that Patrice Evra played for Manchester United? He reminds me a lot of him. Amazing going forward.
I wouldn't say he's at that level, though. Patrice was a pretty good defender.
No, but you know, in that last season where he kept being caught out like positionally and he couldn't get back quickly enough, he reminds me of that kind of player now where clearly offensively solid.
Well, Moreno reminds me of a left-back who's now 35, like Cafu, for example.
Yeah.
So, he's still got some of that acumen, but he just doesn't get back into positions enough. I put it down to laziness, which is a pretty big accusation to make for someone I don't know. But he does seem pretty damn lazy. I'm not going to make the Jeremy Clarkson mistake of calling any racial group in particular lazy.
So you think he just needs a siesta? I understand.
I think
a mid-game siesta.
Maybe depending on the time of the match, he could be affected by his burrito intake. No, that's racist. And I don't mean it like that. I just think that he, as a person, he seems lazy. He doesn't track. How else do you explain his inability to track ball or his unwillingness to track back, even though he clearly can see himself that he's not getting back to these situations in time?
Well, you know what? He might be a bit lazy tracking back at the moment, but speaking of not lazy, hard-working, but completely off his game, on the other side of the fence, Harry Kane. What has happened to him since he's returned from England?
He couldn't hit the ass of an elephant with a banjo, honestly.
No, it's ridiculous at the moment.
And I blame England.
What did the Euros do to him?
They've rocked his confidence. He's a confidence player.
You
recall he had that really period at the start of the last season where he didn't score goals for a few games, and he came back very strongly. And as we can see, I mean, he romped home.
Absolutely.
So
I think he went for the first 7 games or something without scoring, and everyone thought,
Yeah, either way, he had a lean period and he just romped home. So I have to say that I don't rule him out whatsoever. I wouldn't be looking at as Tottenham being weak for somehow having Harry Kane in his starting lineup. I do like Jansen though. We were saying that earlier as well. He looks a player. So you look all over the park at this Liverpool and
I'm going to make a big call about Jansen, by the way. He reminds me.
You're a big guy.
Yeah, I am a big guy. He reminds me of a very young Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Oh, don't say that.
Yep,
Relax.
he does. He does.
Relax.
Honestly. No, you watch his style of play. You
well,
watch how
guys,
he gets
that's all we have time for today.
Come on. You don't see any of that in him. You don't see the movement. You don't see his ability in the box to ghost in a little bit and maybe like pinch that goal.
I mean, I see as much Ruud van Nistelrooy in him as I do Thierry Henry and Mane. You know, it's like you can see a hint.
Yeah.
But it is just a hint. And to be able to put two names like that in the same sentence.
Oh, I understand. Like, he's a young player. You know, the pressure's not on him. He won't be starting every game for Spurs, but he could be something, you know, if he gets 10 to 15 goals this season, he really could take off.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm really hoping for a good game. I'm one of the most impartial Liverpool fans you'll ever meet. I don't think this is our year. I don't even think next year is our year. I don't even think the following year is our year.
Well, I've said this to you before. Full disclosure here. I honestly think that Klopp is the best manager in the league.
You have.
I think
the first time in history that a United fan has been honest.
Well, you know, we try occasionally. Yeah. No, I honestly think he's the best manager in the league and also the best manager for a team of Liverpool's size. And I mean that without any disrespect. What I mean is, if you're a really big club and you're trying to get back to the top, there is no better manager in the world.
I agree.
Better manager.
I agree.
His high pressing game, his gegenpress, if you will, exceptional.
His warmth, his friendliness.
Oh, funny dude.
Yeah, he's funny.
I'd rather watch him in a press conference than pretty much anyone else I can think of, with the possible exception of Sir Bobby Robson back in the day.
Yes. Yeah, there is a bit of that to him, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a little bit of that really nice warmth. But anyway, we've spoken about them for long enough.
I do want to get onto your guys, though, because I'm actually, devastated about the extent to which Man United have shored up their side. So I want to get your impressions, because how could you possibly be anything other than giddy having Ibrahimovic, Pogba, Martial in the same damn side? I mean, let's
ridiculous.
not forget Henrik as well. I mean, you've got a bizarrely talented side. This is now scary.
Well, after the Van Gaal days, where
I know the dark days,
they were literally boring us to death.
Yeah,
I mean,
the lights were off.
It was all over. You could hear the snores in Old Trafford. There was no cheers anymore.
Was because you were bored asleep.
Yeah, actually bored, 2 tears and sleep. No, Mourinho coming in. It's interesting because you can tell, now that Mourinho is at Manchester United, you can tell that that's the job he always wanted. Mm-hmm. You know, forget Madrid, forget Chelsea. Forget them all. United was the job. I can even remember that time.
Well, I've forgotten. I don't even know who they are. Who are these people?
Well, the champions this season, probably. Well, big prediction.
Well, then.
Yeah, hey now. No, when he first came into the club, I thought, here we go. I mean, he's always likely to implode.
But he's also a genius.
He is. He's the bus parking specialist.
Yeah.
You could not get a better bus driver if you tried.
Absolutely. I mean, that guy knows how to park them.
He does.
He knows how to park them.
Yeah,
and not just those normal buses that you see going around the city. I mean, we're talking about
double-decker,
double-decker extended
as a pimped-out bus.
Oh, mate, these things are ridiculous. I mean, he could park this building. That's what he could do.
Isn't it fascinating, by the way, that he coined that term? And I think it was against Reading that he said they parked the bus and they wouldn't let us play.
That's right.
And then he's become the quintessential park the bus manager. Yeah. But he's really good for United. I mean, could I see any of those players joining the club when Van Gaal was there? No. Not a chance in hell.
No chance.
But with Ibra's
no chance in hell.
No chance in hell.
You gave me a WWE flashback. Degeneration.
Sorry, Vince. But I mean, your opinion on Pogba, because I love the Pog, and I was so upset when he left the club. I love the Pog too. I was so upset.
I'm split right down the middle on this. I mean, let's face facts here. That was extortion. What you paid for him, considering he was yours already a few years back. I mean, I will laugh at you for the rest of our days because of that.
Until he wins us a couple of leagues.
But even then, that's just a couple more leagues, isn't it? I mean, what's the difference? Do I think, though, that he was worth it? Absolutely. He's firstly what you needed.
Oh, mate. Like a driving midfield
Aside from the fact that he's the
force.
world's best midfielder. Yeah. Ignore that. he is what United needed. You needed that engine. You needed someone who was, dare I say it, the Steven Gerrard style talisman from the middle that drives you forwards. I mean, you can't have... Rooney was crumbling under that sort of pressure.
Absolutely.
And I think Ibra, needs to just be allowed to do what Ibra does. And same with Martial. I don't want these guys running back to getting the ball. It's just ridiculous. You want a driving engine in the midfield who's going to do that and just be tireless and defend, attack, score goals from basically anywhere.
Yeah. And we needed the marquee player.
You needed the marquee player, and you needed to win leagues again. To be also fair, I can only vaguely recall his presence at United back then. However, he was pretty shite. He didn't do anything that led me to believe that he was going to be this player.
Okay.
He came out of his shell at Juventus.
He definitely grew. There's no denying that. And would he have grown that way at United? Maybe not. We'll never know. I mean, but I see it like we sent him on loan for 4 years and then just had to pay a really big fee to bring him back home.
That's a big fee.
No, don't get me wrong.
I mean, you could buy Middlesbrough for that amount of money. And I don't just mean the football club. I mean, every man, woman, and child. You could buy them into retirement.
And you're probably right.
Oh, my goodness.
But it got us Pogba. And
you're going to win the league.
And I think he's going to win us a league.
Yeah.
Well, it's either that or Man City, and they are worth discussing.
They're excellent, and they look dangerous. I mean, but again, they're an Aguero team. They're an Aguero side. You take Aguero out of that team, I immediately don't think they look as dangerous.
As dangerous? No, you're absolutely right. Whereas dangerous? Ooh, they're still a good side. He'll start playing, if Aguero's out injured, he'll start playing Raheem Sterling as a false nine.
Yeah, and he can't play.
He can't play. Oh, mate, Pep could coach anyone to play that position. I mean, he's a good coach.
Moneybags Sterling.
I touched a nerve.
He disappoints me as a player.
Have you seen him this season? Have you seen him this season?
Yeah, in like the 1.5 games where Aguero's made him look awesome.
2 games.
Yeah, where Aguero's made him look awesome.
Oh, mate,
that guy, Sergio Aguero.
Oh, don't get me wrong.
Still the best striker in the league.
Exceptional player. Yeah, the best striker in the league, bar none. Yeah. Absolutely. 100% agree with you.
I actually
Even without him.
Without the injuries, we are talking, he's the only player in the world today that holds on to Messi and Ronaldo. I mean, yeah. And speaking of careers, I wanted to ask you, Rooney, is he done or is
done?
He's done.
You know what? Oof. If I was Mourinho, I know it would be. Oof. I get why he would never be sold by United, because he's a commercial aspect to that club. But that is all he is now. He's a commercial driving force. That is all. Mate, you know what? If the Chinese league offered us 20 million for him, I would bite their hand off.
He wouldn't though.
No, I know, no. And that's a huge problem for us.
How long's his contract?
It's 3 more years.
Oh, Jesus.
3 more years.
He'll retire at United.
Of that meandering donkey wandering around the pitch with that first touch that makes him look like a baby.
That was a good header against Bournemouth. Wrong-footed the keeper, got into position. No, I'm not convincing you. Whoa.
No.
See, you can't see this, but that was a very steely-eyed look he just gave me.
No.
Garfield, my gosh.
I'm sorry, he's done. As a top-level player, I think as a squad player, maybe.
I'm surprised because I don't agree with you. I think that Ibra and Rooney together, I think that will reinvigorate Rooney. We won't be seeing Rooney from, yesteryear when he was scoring those ridiculous volleys like against Newcastle and whatever else. But you're going to see a good Rooney. Not the best Rooney, but a good enough one.
I think one of my problems now with Rooney is the rest of that squad's amazing. We're burying Marcus Rashford for Rooney. For Rooney.
Okay, that I agree with you. I mean, I feel sorry for Rashford.
We're burying Mkhitaryan for Rooney.
Are you? Or is he just still getting
I know he's getting used to it, but what's his best position? Number 10. Where does Rooney play? And where's the only place that Rooney can play? Number 10.
I suspect they will play Rooney further upfield when they play that formation, because I think they can play both.
Yeah, I mean, they'll just stick Mkhitaryan on the right in Mata's spot.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing in particular.
I think he's better than Mata.
Personally. Oh, absolutely.
He's faster.
And also Mata, a player that I don't particularly rate that highly. He's just too slow. He's got a great football mind, but he's never going to do it. In the same way now that Rooney, without his pace, should never be in an elite level team. I'm not saying he's a bad player. Is he part of anywhere close to the elite anymore? No, definitely not.
I don't know. I think that's a massive call. I still don't know how you're ignoring the Ibra effect. I feel like Ibra will bring out the best in him.
But Ibra would also bring out the best in Rashford.
Would he?
Absolutely.
My concern is for a player so young to be next to someone so great that you could be overawed. You could end up...
All the reports are that Ibra's taken him under his wing. They're doing extra training sessions together.
Oh, that's amazing.
Ibra's giving him...
Well, that's a scary thought.
I know, right?
Great for England.
Amazing for England. He's giving him hints on how to shoot, how to position. I want to see how they go together. How to Ibra. Imagine if he could teach him how to Ibra.
Yeah, well.
England would have the
I wish I could Ibra. I know, I wish that.
I'd just take the I from Ibra. If I could just do the I'd be so happy. Yeah. He's a freak. I mean, but he's taking under all these young players. I don't know if you saw the interview after the 2-0 win, the last game.
No, I try not watch anything related to United.
Well, you'll like this comment.
Poison my mind.
So in the last minute when Pogba shot instead of passing, Ibra, when he got the Man of the Match award, said, "Hey, it's not about me. It's about the team and who scores in the team." And then Pogba said, "Oh, I had that shot in the last minute." And Ibra went, but you should have passed. And he went, "I thought you said it didn't matter who scored." And he went, "You know what? It doesn't. On that occasion, you definitely should have passed."
That is classic
Ibra.
Oh,
I love Ibra. And then they hugged and they laughed. Ibra is rubbing off that team the way that I see Eric Cantona did all those years ago. He's the leader on the pitch. He's the inspiration. He's the guy that's going to get Marcus Rashford into being one of the premier strikers in the world. But you got to play him with Ibra. If you don't play him with Ibra, you're wasting him.
The Studs Up Podcast.
So who do you play this weekend?
Yeah, we've got Hull, one of the other teams to win 2 from 2.
Yeah, I mean, that shocked me as well, but I've got to say, they've played well.
They have played wins. Mate, hilariously, they have Jake Livermore, Tottenham reject, decent, handy little midfielder, has a cap for England. He's playing at centre-half for them. That team has, 14 first-team outfield players?
It's bizarre.
It's ridiculous.
They can't keep it up, is what I will say, though.
No,
they're going to capitulate by the end
They are
of the
my
season.
Dead bolt-on favourites for 20th, relegated.
Yeah.
But God bless them, they're doing well. I think that United are going to give them a very stern lesson. A very proper
I think so
thrashing.
too. I think they're going to finally realise that it's not good for them. This is going to be really hard. Time to play with the big boys. The shock is out of the way.
Yeah.
United would have paid attention
the early
to that.
season adrenaline is starting to wear off, and then all of a sudden you'll run into one of the big boys and oof, you're going to get winded. What about the current champions, by the way, Leicester?
Leicester. I mean, they play Swansea this week, right? And Swansea are coming off a pretty good run of form.
Yeah, they a win and a loss, but
I can see Leicester getting up this match finally. I mean, they had a loss, then a draw.
Yeah,
but I think they played really well against Arsenal.
They did, I thought.
I mean, I know Arsene is, and we'll talk about Arsene.
Yeah, we will.
But I think that Arsenal are copying a pretty sweet, but they're a good side, and Leicester were really tested. I don't know if you recall the game last season that they had that brilliant game.
Well, Leicester lost to them twice.
Yeah, they had that brilliant game. So Leicester could very easily have gone down again.
Absolutely.
I think this was a big stern test for them, and the fact that they came out the other side. The only concern I've got is that they look profligate in attack, which they didn't before. They looked really clinical, and I don't know how they're going to fix that. I also think N'Golo Kante has not been adequately replaced. I think Mendy's good, but he's
very different kind of player.
Yeah, it's not the same player.
No.
I mean, Kante was someone they should have held on to at all costs because there's no replacement for him.
Would you rather sell Vardy or Kante? Just personal opinion.
I would have sold Vardy.
So would I. I'm not disagreeing with you.
They would have got a fortune for him, and I think they could replace him.
Well,
Because Vardy was good, but it was the service.
Oh, mate. If there's one player that reeks to me, just the whiff of one season wonder.
Yeah.
It's Vardy.
Yeah, absolutely. I can definitely see Leicester getting up against Swansea. I think they've got a point to prove. They're at home, at the KC. I think the Foxes will do it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Who else have we got there next on the list?
We got Crystal Palace Bournemouth.
Palace.
Yeah.
Palace.
Although it's a Palace boasting the
Benteke.
Yeah, the prodigal son.
The Liverpool reject.
The Liverpool reject. That does not say a lot for any player at the moment, unfortunately. It's not saying the Real Madrid reject, for example.
No, true, yeah. But I don't understand, really. I mean, as soon as Klopp came in, I can totally see why Benteke was never going to work.
I actually like Benteke.
I think he's a great player.
There's no acrimony. I see him leaving as good for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And he could genuinely, as he has been before, he's a 20-goal a season striker.
Absolutely.
Now, also, the wing attack at Palace with Zaha and with Townsend, they're two players that could put in good crosses for a player like Benteke.
They sold Balassi, though, right?
They did,
I thought
yeah,
that was
Everton.
strange.
I think he wanted to move.
Oh, okay.
I do believe. So I think they went, well, let's hedge our bets here to get Benteke. And if you're Palace and you say, hey, do we really need another winger? or do we really need that elite level striker?
Well, I haven't seen the team sheets. I don't know if you've seen them. Is he going straight into the side?
He will go
straight in?
He should go straight in. So, I mean, that they could well do them. I mean, that with Benteke in there, it changes the picture of that team a lot.
So you're saying Palace over Bournemouth?
I am.
I'm tipping a draw, I think.
Okay.
And look, you mentioned Everton, and I think that's a good idea, good touching point, because Everton Stoke. I mean, Koeman, I actually really respect him as a manager, and I think he could do a really good job at Everton.
I think outside of the elite level managers, which the Premier League is now filled with, I think as well outside of the Premier League, there's probably only one or two other elite managers working in the world now.
Yeah, that's so true.
Koeman is the next best.
You've got what, Ancelotti?
Yeah, Ancelotti, and I would say Diego Simeone.
Yeah,
that's it.
True.
That's it. They'd be the only two elite level coaches left.
That's amazing.
Outside of England.
It's ridiculous.
It's
the Premier League clash of the Titans.
It is.
I'm not talking about the teams or the players.
No, I know. It's fascinating to watch all the great tactical minds basically in world football all converging in the one league. It's amazing
and it's going to make the others better. Someone like Koeman, who's going to be battling week in, week out. But I mean, something I will say about Koeman, I mean, his substitutions changed the match.
Absolutely. Yeah. And he is one of the great in-game tacticians, the way that you look at Mourinho.
Yep.
His real strength is he's a great in-game tactician. Yeah. Koeman's the same. He'll change formation. He'll do whatever he needs to do to make sure that his team can get over the line.
Absolutely.
And the way he has just gotten rid of players he doesn't think are good enough. Oh, amazing.
I totally agree with you. So are you tipping Everton over Stoke? I think Stoke look a little clueless at the moment. They don't know who they are anymore.
Yeah, no, well, they're not putting in the big challenges anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, not even they can do it on a cold night in Stoke anymore.
Apparently not. They're a really interesting, evolving team, though. I find Stoke to be not one thing or the other anymore, but I think if they can get that mix, if you can get Bojan going for you, if you can get all of those little attacking elements playing, you're going to be a good team. They're still lacking up front, though. Like they don't really have that.
I'm unconvinced on Bojan, but anyway.
Are you?
Yeah, unconvinced.
Why? Just from the Barca days? Like, are you a bit of a hangover there?
I just don't think he can put in a consistent performance week in, week out.
He's still pretty young. What is he? Still only like 25 or something ridiculous?
Yeah, but he's still not doing it.
True, but I mean...
There are players younger than him doing it.
But it might be the first time in his career that he gets a good run of actual game time without injury. His biggest problem in his whole career, he's always injured.
But can you see him making the difference? I mean,
not against Everton on the
Lukaku,
weekend.
You know,
not against Everton on the weekend.
I know how much you love Lukaku.
I do love me some Lukaku.
Oh yeah, you do.
I do. You know, I've always
been got
a big
signed
Lukaku.
Picture of him that says he's written underneath it, "I love you, Garfield."
Yeah, with a big love heart.
Yeah, big love heart. I mean, it's some pretty creepy stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan. So no, I think Everton will go past them this weekend.
All right. I mean, how about Southampton, Sunderland? I mean, I think Southampton. You've got to tip them over Sunderland. I mean, Sunderland are in disarray.
Can I say this? David Moyes is back to his level.
Oh, that was very bitter.
It's not bitter. It's just,
Let me go get David and pull out that knife from his back. Jeez.
Yeah, sorry,
where's the loyalty?
Sorry, little Davey.
You see, this is the difference, listeners, between Liverpool fans and Man United fans. We still love our own even after they've left us.
Yeah, really.
The way we support Suarez.
Roy Hodgson.
We didn't do anything to Roy. We got no problems with Roy.
There's a fair bit of hatred there on Merseyside for Roy.
Where? Show me some hatred.
What do you mean? Show me some hatred.
You see that? He's got nothing. So.
Oh, yeah, sure. Just go into any forum and just mention the name Roy Hodgson.
He's trying to bring in other things that don't matter, making motherhood statements.
Any forum. I'm just saying, any forum. Or Paul Koscielny.
You know
just
what?
bring him up on a forum.
Next week, bring me a printout of one of these forums.
Okay, I will. I'll bring it out for you. I'll tell you what. I'll just go on there and I'll just write Paul Koscielny and just watch the comments fly in.
Won't happen.
Okay, I will prove you wrong on that one.
West Brom, Middlesbrough. I'm really curious to know your thoughts on Middlesbrough because I really like them.
Karank has signed really well.
Negredo?
Really? Oh.
At Middlesbrough?
Forget about it.
How is this? He's like the next Juninho.
Yeah, how is that the thing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Great looking team.
How did he just fly under everybody's radar? Of all the teams that could have done with him.
Oh, that's 3/4 of the Prem.
I mean, let's be honest. Yeah. Arsenal could have done with him.
Oh, hell yeah. The only reason he left City is because he was homesick. Exactly. It's not because he was crap.
Exactly. And the funniest part is that he's now in a worse place. No offense, Middlesbrough.
Yeah, even though we said that we could buy you for 89 million.
Oh, jeez, I did say that.
That's okay. Man. I think they're going to win, though.
Yeah, I've got a good friend actually from Middlesbrough.
Oh, really?
So please don't listen to this.
Hey, but think of that sweet chunk of that 89 million that you could get.
Goodness me. Yeah,
yes, there you go. See, so definitely listen to this. Get on board.
Occasionally Garfield is funny.
Thanks, mate.
This was that one moment.
That was that one moment of this entire.
We'll have to wrap
podcast.
it up.
Okay, yeah, and I'm out. I'll be here all
and
week.
I'm in for the season. Not today.
Get stuff.
So Middlesbrough, West Brom.
Yeah, I think that Middlesbrough will do them. What about West Brom, by the way? Because this will get us very neatly onto Arsenal. Arsenal were told to offer 25 million for Johnny Evans. Now, Johnny Evans, I got to say, pretty good defender.
Yeah, agreed.
$25 million defender? No, not so much.
No, not at all.
What are Arsenal?
Not even half that.
I'd pay 15 for him. At a snip.
I have a look at what some people pay and what you get for 50. I mean, not to take it back to Liverpool, but Ragnar Klavan, he looks the business.
He does.
It was £4.5 million.
And you can find bargains out there. But
why would you pay that? Yeah, English. Yeah.
Well, Northern Ireland, but, Premier League winner, experienced, knows how to marshal a defence. Probably perfect for a team like Arsenal at 15, but 25? But what is Wenger doing?
There's no way.
What is Arsene Wenger doing? The pressure is on him more than any other manager in this entire league.
He's crumbling.
Do you think his legacy is falling away?
Oh, wow. You said put me under the triple heat lamp spotlight. His legacy, is it falling away? I am stalling because I need to contemplate this for a moment.
10 years without a Prem, without a title.
I don't know.
FA Cups.
Yes, but it's also... If that statement were to be true, it is because the club has made it so.
Okay.
I think that the club changed the way he viewed football. They made him a business person and somebody who needed to look after their finances, something that he has done better than any other manager in the league. He's extraordinary.
If you wanted to hire me an accountant, he's the guy I would go to in the Premier League.
But just in general, because if you think about the amount of success that they have versus the money they've spent, there is no pound-for-pound puncher better than them.
Absolutely not.
That's not good enough.
Yeah, has it come at the cost of his legacy, though?
Okay, so for me, his legacy, this might even sound controversial, but his legacy was not success. His legacy was the brand of football that he plays for me.
Okay.
His legacy will always be what he brought to the Premier League in terms of the excitement, the continental quality.
He was the first real continental coach.
Absolutely. Who brought the mentality with him.
Yeah.
He didn't just adapt to the Premier League. He says, no, this is the way I do things. Yeah. And I think that's his legacy. So... Okay, no disrespect to Arsenal fans out there.
Maybe this is a better question. Has he outstayed his welcome?
I'm not an Arsenal fan to be able to say that. I love Arsene Wenger. I actually think he seems like such a nice guy.
To me, he just
classy.
seems like he's so stuck in this mindset of there's no value in the market and I can't find anyone. And then he'll get to the end of the window and he'll freak out and he'll go, oh, what am I doing? And then he'll just splurge.
I don't feel that's him making those calls.
You don't think?
No.
I think it's all Arsene.
I don't.
I think he's so stubborn. I think he has it so set in his own mind that he has to mould the perfect team from the parts he has. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's got it in his head that I have to win football my way. And you're right on this. He was a revolutionary. He knew what he was doing. He came in, he changed English football so much. And he wants to leave the legacy of, I built my team from nothing and I still beat you all. He's imposed a set of rules on himself that means he cannot compete with the elite level anymore.
I would like us to pick this up on another podcast as a full feature because I think I genuinely think that discussing Arsene and his career, it's too multidimensional to get through it now.
Fair enough. Let's go to the next.
But fixture. Arsenal is playing Watford, and I think they'll get up.
Yeah.
Chelsea, Burnley.
Well, it's got to be Chelsea.
Yeah. I mean,
easy.
They look bulletproof.
How do you find Conte so far? I think he's doing really well. I think he's doing a really good job.
I'll be honest, I haven't formulated an opinion yet. I don't know how much of it is Conte yet and how much of it is just Chelsea. They've got such a damn good side.
It is a ridiculous... For a team that could not defend that Premier League.
It's upsetting. It's upsetting.
It's lunacy.
I wanted to see them crumble. I wanted them to get relegated. That's what I wanted. And I didn't get my wish.
Now, that would have been the great upset of English football history. Not just Premier League, English football history.
Yeah,
if they went from champions to relegated, that would have been ridiculous.
I agree.
But they're doing really well. I mean, I'm really interested. The main thing about Chelsea that I'm fascinated by now is Fabregas.
Yeah, I know. Wow, what a polarizing opinion he probably is giving now.
I know, but
I feel like Fabregas is he's had his day.
Really?
Yeah.
At the age of what, 29?
Yeah, I think he's done.
You think he's done as an elite level player?
Done as an elite level Premier League player at Chelsea.
Okay.
I think the team around him just doesn't suit him anymore.
I would agree with that, particularly with a manager like Conte.
Yeah.
But as we saw, he came off the bench and was basically their only attacking outlet.
I agree, but I just think that he's finished overall at Chelsea.
Okay, fair enough.
I can't see him being there after Christmas. I mean, I think he might even go in that window. Maybe.
A January sale?
Possibly.
Well, you know, Madrid were after him.
I know. But I think he would suit Madrid.
He would actually suit Madrid very well, but I'm saying...
I think that'd be a great move. I also think he'd be in grave danger. I mean, being Barcelona once in your life means you are never a Real Madrid player, supposedly.
Luis Figo.
I know, and they nearly killed him. Didn't he get death threats?
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He's fine, though. Good player.
The Studs Up Podcast.
So we're picking what? We're picking Chelsea, Crystal Palace, Everton, Leicester, Southampton, Arsenal, United, Middlesbrough, and I'm not going to say whether it's Liverpool or Tottenham.
I'm going Tottenham. That silence you hear.
So I lost a friend. I lost a friend today.
That was Simon Says' head literally snapping across the side and going, "Oh, why did you do that to me on the podcast, man?"
Yeah, no, that's brutal.
I honestly, I think
you
Tottenham,
are a bastard.
I think Tottenham will do them.
You know, usually you're supposed to support your mate, and come hell or high water, you should have probably tipped Liverpool.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, shouldn't I tip who I think's going to win?
No.
Which is Tottenham?
No, I don't think that at all.
Okay, fair enough.
No.
As you can tell, this is not the podcast you want to listen to if you want to hear fair and reasonable opinions.
Oh, gosh. No, I've never been fair. I've never been reasonable. I've been called a lot of things, but those two are
fair and reasonable and not up there. Well, there you go, guys. That is our first episode of the Studs Up podcast. Simon Says, thank you very much.
No problem.
And hopefully we will see you again next week when we'll pretty much recap what we got wrong and then keep talking
everything.
About... Yeah, well, probably. Most things.
Thanks for listening.
Except the Spurs game.
No, we'll win that.
I'm Garfield. This is